program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air, President Roosevelt has just announced.
Propelled into war, American and Australian forces marshal, forging an alliance determined to halt the Empire's relentless advance through the Pacific.
Above is the drone of enemy aircraft. Brings the anti-aircraft guns into instant action.
The devastating bombing of Darwin suggests an invasion is imminent. And when American codebreakers in Melbourne intercept Japanese plans for an attack on Port Moresby, these fears are magnified. If successful, the invasion will be a direct threat to vital communication and supply lines between Australia and the United States. Japan's Vice Admiral Inoue orders an attack on the island of Tulagi, firing the opening salvo in a battle which changes naval warfare forever. The Battle of the Coral Sea is the first naval engagement to use aircraft as the main weapon when neither side's ships sight each other. As a formidable Japanese armada powers towards New Guinea, American forces destroy the new Japanese seaplane base on Tulagi. Meanwhile, US Navy Task Force 17, under the command of Rear Admiral Fletcher, launches planes from Yorktown and Lexington to scour the sea for the enemy fleet. Over the next few days, the Japanese send out their own search planes, both squadrons all but ignoring each other in their hunt for bigger game. In an audacious move, Admiral Fletcher splits off a task force of Australian and American cruisers under the command of Admiral Crace, with 2 destroyers in support, intent on guarding Jomard Passage, the gateway to Port Moresby. No sooner have they arrived than Japanese dive bombers attack the Allied ships, and Crace gives the order to take up anti-aircraft formation and perform evasive manoeuvres. Japanese bombers dive relentlessly from the sky, singling out the desperately zigzagging heavy cruiser Australia for bombardment, which it miraculously survives. Japanese aircrew mistake Crace's cruisers for battleships, and believing Task Force 17.3 presents an insurmountable obstacle, Admiral Inoue calls off the Port Moresby invasion, signalling the first Allied win of the battle. To the east, on the same morning, Vice Admiral Takagi learns American torpedo and dive bombers are approaching fast and scrambles his Zero fighters. By the time Yorktown's dive bombers arrive, its torpedo bombers have attacked, and Takagi knows the Shorehawk is doomed. The order is given to abandon ship, and 631 men die when the Shorehawk sinks in 4 minutes.
Scratch 1 flat top. Chambers to carriers. Scratch 1 flat top.
Determined to strike back, Takagi sends out a wave of dive bombers from Shokaku to attack the American destroyers Sims and oiler Neosho. In the ensuing battle, Sims sinks, the Neosho is heavily damaged, and 357 American lives are lost. On the final day, the battle reaches fever pitch as both fleets launch simultaneous attacks. While 4 hours apart by sea, they are just 20 minutes apart by air, dramatically accelerating how quickly this battle unfolds. Lexington's radar picks up incoming Japanese aircraft, and Fletcher scrambles Wildcat fighters in response. As the combatants trade blows, Yorktown's dive bombers attack Shokaku. Frantically manoeuvring, Shokaku is severely damaged, forcing Takagi to withdraw the carrier from the battle. Japanese torpedo bombers attack Lexington in a pincer movement, and a torpedo rips through the port aviation gasoline tanks. This starts a ticking time bomb as fuel vapour begins leaking through the ship. A second torpedo ruptures the water feed to the bow, severely reducing Lexington's firefighting capacity. A third wave of Shokaku dive bombers attack, and a 250-kilogram bomb tears through 4 decks of Yorktown, killing 43 men and injuring 23. Returning to their carriers, Japanese and American planes cross paths, and 2 senior Japanese pilots die in a fierce aerial dogfight. Aircraft are still landing on Lexington when sparks from an electric motor ignite the gasoline fumes which have spread throughout the ship. Unaware Lexington is crippled, Takagi informs Admiral Inoue that he does not have enough airworthy planes to continue the fight. More devastating explosions on the doomed Lexington start uncontrollable fires, and Fletcher gives the order to abandon ship, then withdraws American forces from the battle. The invasion of Port Moresby is thwarted, and the Japanese advance through the Pacific is successfully stopped, ensuring Australia is safe. The tally of men, ships and planes lost is significant, with both sides declaring success. Japan claims a tactical victory, but the American-Australian alliance, tempered in battle, has won in strategic terms and has the measure of the Japanese Navy, knowing it to be far from invincible.